Good afternoon. We have some special guests. Welcome back to the Past Our Prime podcast and our special guests, Brendan and Taye from the TPC podcast. How are we doing, guys?
Doing great, man.
Phenomenal. Excited.
Guys, we are in the midst of the NBA Finals, man. It has been wild, to say the least.
It sure has. It's been very entertaining. Through the first four games, pretty much. Heading to Game 5 tonight. It's gonna be a very intense game. Back to Paycon Center, pretty much. It really depends on who's gonna win tonight. Is it the Pacers underdog story, pretty much, or is it the OKC unstoppable roster, pretty much? We'll see, though.
Yeah, man, I'm excited about it. It feels like obviously the series isn't 0-0, but it feels like it's anybody's series. That's what I love about it. Two defensive heavy, small ball type teams. Man, you gotta love it. You gotta love it, bro.
I feel like we haven't seen this type of matchup before in the finals. It's always, especially since our generation, right? It's always been LeBron, Steph, two heavyweights, where it kind of feels like we're moving into the new age of basketball, right? With the young core of Oklahoma City, you got an underdog in the Pacers. Both teams have a really deep bench. They love to play fast, love to play out in transition. We just haven't really seen a series like this in a long time, and I feel like a lot of people have counted out the Pacers in this series, or in the playoffs as a whole, right? Especially after losing 32 in the regular season. I know that their record has been great since January 1st, but still, no one would have predicted, the Eastern Conference Finals, especially with the Knicks and the Pacers, right? And then the Pacers to come out of that one as well. So my first question to you guys is, are we more impressed with the Pacers or maybe a little bit more disappointed in the Thunder? Because we feel like a majority of the country was maybe leaning Thunder in 5 or 6.
I'm more impressed with the Pacers. Easily. Excuse me. The Pacers, man, they were not supposed to win really 2 games in this series. Period.
Game 1. They were not supposed
Definitely
to
not game 1. To go out and hit that big shot, to really change the momentum, to steal one on the road, because in these playoff series, especially when you're an underdog, the only thing you want to do is get one on the road, and then you go back. Okay, you may lose that game too, and then when you get to your home court, then we gotta win out. But to win that game 1 and then to continue to build that momentum, I think Indiana's showing. It's an underdog story. So I got Indiana having a very impressive run.
Completely. See, I'm gonna contradict that. I think the Pacers, I'm very impressed in how they continually showed that they're here and that they want to win. Yeah. But I am so disappointed in the Oklahoma City Thunder. Extremely. The last game they shot what, 3 for 15, 3 for 16, shooting 18% behind the 3-point line. What are you doing? And all season long, you guys have been some of the top 3-point shooters in the league. Everybody, Aaron Wiggins, you got Lou Dort, you got Cason Wallace, all of them just Isaiah Joe, you got all of them draining them. And then when it comes down to the finals, you're shooting 18% behind the 3. They don't even have to put somebody out there on you half the time. It just seems like, sorry if I'm yelling, I need to go a little bit back. But I'm just passionate, man. I'm like, golly. I'm so disappointed. And Mark, he's making the right adjustments. He limited Shea's minutes within the first half last game. So I think he's kind of starting to figure it out. It started Hartenstein, but I'm just so disappointed in the consistency of the offense from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Defense wins championships, but a good shot is a good shot. That's my take on that.
Yeah, that's valid. That's definitely valid.
I'm the same way with you too, Jordan. This is disappointing for the OKC Thunder. Shooting 3 for 16, you can't have that. And especially winning that game is the most impressive thing. Shea had to go off in the fourth quarter, scoring like the last 12 points, I think, in that fourth quarter for them. And it just, it makes no sense why you're in this situation. Like, you're in the, game 3, I think they shot lights out. I think Aaron Wiggins had shot 5 or 8, I think, in the 3-point percentage in that game. They had an impressive game with that. In the fourth quarter, I think it was just pretty much the Pacers fall apart in that game. Miles Turner was just getting bullied in the paint by Hartenstein, pretty much, getting owned. And then, with another disappointment is Chet. Chet has been nowhere in the past 2 games, scoring around 14 points, if anything, to the point that Alex Caruso has to step up and drop 20 points now, and he's never done that in his career. And it's been very impressive as a vet to step up for Alex Caruso with that.
Preach. Yeah, it has been, like I said, just a wild series, and everything that we thought about the Thunder, I feel like both of these teams have proven to everybody that any doubts that anybody has had about both teams, everybody has kind of answered the calls for all of their doubts, right? But the Oklahoma City Thunder, when it really, really matters, and why I'm really impressed with how they won last game, only shooting 18%. They still, game one, they got cooked in the rebound battle, right? They've stepped that up. They're crashing the boards. They're doing what they're supposed to. But now it's just down to knocking down shots. And something that, I said in a couple pods ago with just Jordan is that I felt like the Pacers were more inconsistent, the more inconsistent team, which now I feel like Oklahoma City is just the more inconsistent team because they don't have any offensive pressure. And I'm giving credit to the Pacers and how they're defending Shea, and especially Nembhard for how he's guarding Shea, because he's giving him a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. He does look uncomfortable, yet he is the MVP, so he still goes off for 35 a night. But there is games where he's going to go off maybe for only 24, 25. Where's everybody else in that mix? And I think that's the most important thing for the Thunder. Everybody else has to step up. They have to play as a team, and they have to play out more in transition, I feel like. They have to use their guys like Lou Dort, right? Like Cason Wallace. Cason Wallace offensively has been nowhere to be seen. You just mentioned Chet. Chet, I feel like the fourth quarter, last game, he was the single-handle, he basically single-handedly brought them back into this game, right? He got 2 offensive rebounds, scored six points right off the bat, made the Pacers call a timeout, right? And you're only down by 1 at that point. So, that's what you need from Chet, but it comes down to everybody else, right? J-Dub goes for 27 last night, but you need that type of production, I feel like, every single night. Yeah. Do you think the Pacers have maybe figured out a way to slow this offense down, or do you think it's more of just the Thunder not being able to hit shots?
Defensively, like this, like the Nembhard Shea thing is like, I don't think it's much more of them just being close buddies who go way back. When I guard my friends in pickup, I know their moves, I know where they're going, I know the spots they're trying to get to, especially when you've known them for a long time. So I think the Nembhard factor defensively and exhausting Shea just comes from, being peers, being friendship. But I disagree with what y'all was kind of saying about the inconsistencies about OKC offensively. Like, when you play basketball, like, it's going to be games where shots just don't drop. Like, you just can't hit a basket. You can't buy a basket. The main problem with OKC's offense is that they don't have a third option, a solidified third option. Chet Holmgren is the third option of this team, and he's being inconsistent and maybe being washed out by Miles Turner and by Siakam. J-Dub is consistent. J-Dub gives you 20 every single game. And in those moments where Shea's on the bench or Shea's not scoring the ball, he's the one who's really pulling momentum and bringing them back into it. So I think the offensive struggles more so fall on Chet Holmgren. And I know he's a undersized guy compared to those big bigs, but at some point, like Alex Caruso should not have the responsibility of dropping 20 points. Aaron Wiggins should not have the responsibility of dropping 20 points. It's on Chet Holmgren.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I want to piggyback off what you said there. Miles Turner, this is his ideal matchup.
Yeah.
Oh, versus last game with the Knicks, right?
You got step back threes and all. He's loving it.
He is bullying Chet out there. I mean, he had Cat that he had to go against, right? Versus somebody who's like probably 100 pounds less than Cat, maybe even more, right? This is Miles Turner's ideal matchup. So how do you get Chet? If you're Mark, how do you get Chet rest? Do you put Hartenstein in and run 2 bigs? But at that point, then you're not running small ball. And then with the Oklahoma City, or with the Pacers, they're going to shoot the lights out when they can. If you leave them an open look, they are shooting 50 to 60% behind the 3. They have proven that they are going to be the top shooting team in the entire playoff season. And they've done that time and time again.
Chet has to get creative. I'm getting boxed out. I got to be the first person down the court in transition. I have to find a way to score. Yeah. I have to be fearless. Like, I have to initiate contact. And I know that's harder when you're 7 foot and then you're getting boxed out and pushed around and bullied in the paint. But, you got to get out and you got to find some way to get creative, or, maybe do what Hartenstein does and kind of learn the screen game and try to shoot the ball or do pick and pops. Like, you got to find some way. You can't just get washed out and get bullied. This is the time where your team needs you the most. It wasn't in those previous series where you were going up against Rudy Gobert, who's also tall and skinny. So Yeah, it's on Chet, y'all. Y'all see what I'm trying to say? Like,
no, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, to the point is, I mean, would you say it's Chet's responsibility on that? I mean, they literally switched the rotation. They put Hartenstein back in the rotation pretty much to help with that. You know, let Miles Turner to pick up him, and then Siakam's on Chet pretty much. Switching the matchups with that last game because we know Wallace has not been the best player on their rotation since starting him. I mean, it is on Chet, if anything, you know, especially in the fourth quarter. You know, he's going to show out, if anything, you know, speak on that, scoring those last 6 points for them, you know, calling that timeout. You know, heading this game 5, you know, we need a big game from him. He needs to show up the doubts of anything, you know, get back to his consistency, shooting the ball pretty well for them. You know, he only shot for 1 3, but he didn't even make that shot even with that. So I think it's going to come down to...
It takes him 10 years. It takes him 10 years to shoot the damn three, bro. Like,
his shot is very, very slow.
Golly, man. Miles Turner was it Obi Toppin was able to just like run out to him and then block that shot? Oh my god. It took him 10 years.
The one that Obi Toppin's block on J-Dub on the step back 3 at the end of the shot clock, man. That was ridiculous, man. That's just the athleticism of this team is just uncomparable. It really is.
And Obi Toppin's low-key kind of been like and this is going to sound wild, Obi Toppin's been like a Russell Westbrook type, just like, what is it, with the Mario coin box, like you don't really know what you're going to get. Yo, I've seen Obi Toppin have horrible games this series. And then you have a game like the last game where he's, you know, dunking in transition, East Baying and playing defense. Like, Obi Toppin's like their Russell Westbrook. As far as like you just don't know what you're gonna get. Like
like game 1 he like doesn't miss a shot. Game 2 I think he goes 1 for 8 from behind the arc. Yeah. Game 3 has a pretty good game. Game 4 you never really know what you're gonna get from Obi Toppin, but at least he brings energy. You know, we saw the scrapple, right? Like with Hartenstein and who'd he foul? Who'd he foul again? Was it Caruso?
Caruso.
Yeah,
Caruso.
I couldn't
Caruso's just getting beat up, man. He had 2 different players on him.
He is.
Golly. Getting his nuts grabbed and everything.
Oh man! And then they want to talk about, these Scott Foster is the
Scott Foster.
Like, man, yo, did y'all watch him go up for that? He literally is getting dragged down by the nuts.
And they didn't even call. They didn't even call a foul for
that. A technical or a flagrant.
Flagrant foul.
I hate how Pacers fans are so inconsistent with the whistle, bro. Like,
they are.
Well, we talked last podcast about the fouling, and the Pacers are very known to foul. Even in the Knicks series, the Knicks I think at one point or one game had like 40 free throws. Like they're going to foul, and they foul hard. It's not like they're just calling little petty fouls here and there. Like they are legitimately fouling because that's what Oklahoma City does though. They want to drive, they want to be aggressive, they want to get to the rim. They're like if you're gonna block our shot, then block our shot. Yeah. But either that's going to happen or I'm going to make this layup or you're going to foul me. And we're not going to settle for threes, which is, again, why I like the Oklahoma City style of play because they're not settling. Because I don't think they need to settle, right? Because they're so inconsistent from behind the arc. And if nobody's hitting shots, Shea, you can tell he doesn't want to pass the ball either because he's like, I don't trust any of these cats to hit a shot.
Right. Yeah.
So who do you think has been the most surprising player, and I guess we can go from each team. Who do you think has been the most surprising player from the Pacers and the Thunder in this series?
I'll let y'all start that.
Oh, Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso.
Oh, for sure.
Thank you. I wasn't going to say it.
Alex Caruso, there's no answer for that. He's averaging, he's been the reason why he's the third option. He's the reason why on the defensive side of the ball, he's been playing really good defense on Naismith and sometimes on Haliburton sometimes on that, but getting 20 points off the bench is very impressive. First time in his career also. He's been in this game before. He's won a championship before with LeBron and AD during the bubble, so he knows the environment. But for the Pacers, with me, I mean, you could say it's Obi or Benedict Mathurin, because Benedict Mathurin can either go 27 points or 8 points a game. It makes no sense how he plays, but I realize this, when he drops around 15 or 27, they win the game. They always win with his effort with that. And that's what they need if heading this game 5 is I think game 5 is going to decide is which bench is going to show up pretty much. Whose bench is going to do a little better with that.
Speaking on benches, man, the best player for the Pacers, the X factor for the Pacers is TJ McCollum. I'm a fan.
There you go.
I'm a Thunder fan, but I love TJ. Do y'all know how difficult it is to get 5-3 steals off the inbound? That is insane. Like, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Got the pickpocket attribute out there, man.
How does Oklahoma City not see it coming, though?
I have no
They're getting
idea.
careless. They're getting
After
careless.
the first one, I mean, that should be the only one, right? For Oklahoma City. If that happens once, you cannot let that happen again.
Yeah.
You can't. Why are you guys just not paying attention when you inbound the ball? Like, we had the whole clip about spamming A, on the Xbox. You're like spamming A because you're so mad. You're so like angry because the person that you're playing is like picking up full court, right? And it's like TJ McConnell, like some guy that you're not even expecting to be good, comes out and just absolutely picks you apart, right? For Oklahoma City, it's like you just have to use your dome piece.
Yeah, man, I love it. Man, that's who I hoop like. Like when I play pickup, that's who I'm playing like TJ McConnell. That's the inspo right there. He gives guys like me, short guys trying to make something shake. Man, he gives me hope. I think he's definitely the X factor. He should get more minutes for real. He's playing the hardest. He's playing the hardest. He's playing harder than Obi Toppin. Anybody off the bench. So
yeah, I think in the first 10 minutes he scored 8 points in game 4. I think after that he didn't make a field goal, but yeah, I agree. As far there's so many spark plugs for this Pacers team. I mean, you can literally go down the list, right? Haliburton will do it from time to time, right? Siakam will do it. Obi Toppin will do it. TJ McConnell will do it. Nembhard, Nesmith, like you can name all of them. They all just bring that spark. Where you kind of say the same about Oklahoma City, right? Like, at least you should, because they've proven to do that over the course of the regular season, even throughout the postseason. Guys have had their games, like we just saw the Aaron Wiggins game in game 2. But then you haven't really seen him again, right? We've seen moments from Case and Wallace. Well, he'll be the spark plug. But if we're talking about a consistent spark plug, I agree with you as far as the Oklahoma City X Factor. It's got to be Alex Caruso. 2 20-point games in the finals. He hadn't done it at all in the regular season. Right. So, like, what else can you ask from a guy, man? And a guy that's just not afraid of the moment. And even, the games before this series, it was always him on the bench, right? Like talking to his guys, always having input, giving Shea some, some tips here and there, right? And some other guys, right? Being the mentor for Case and Wallace, to step up his game, right? So you get that from Alex Caruso. I feel like for the Pacers, though, I mean, I just said everybody's name. So
the biggest surprise for me on the Pacers is going to be Miles Turner.
Yeah.
Like in game 1 when he hit that step back off the backboard, off the glass, 3-point shot.
I didn't even know he could shoot, bro.
Exactly, all the way up until this series. That's why I'm so surprised. I'm like, Miles Turner, I don't know if he's just like super uber confident because he's out there like, oh, I got somebody half my size, same height, but half my size. I'm going to bully him around. He's got like this ego about him. He's got this confidence, so he's just going to pull up and shoot. He knows he's going to get the board on the other end. To me, Miles Turner is going to be the biggest surprise for me going into this series.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Game three is a big factor of that. Watching that fourth quarter, him just owning Chet, blocking every single shot Chet was shooting at 3, driving in the lane. He was just blocking him. He was just on his butt the whole time in that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Moving on to game 5.
No. Y'all mind if I ask y'all a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Before we get into game 5, it's one thing I got to talk to y'all about. And it's one guy we haven't talked about. I kind of want to go on this argument like we have to hold Haliburton to the same standard we hold. Y'all know that we ain't said nothing about Haliburton. All the talk has been on the bench in SGA. Do we think Haliburton is a proven superstar?
No. I really don't. I really don't. First game 1 and game 2, I was on his ass on the pods every single time. He's walking out there. He is not
horrible in game 1. Besides that shot, he played horrible in game
1. Horrible. And like he's gonna get all this airtime. He's gonna get all this recognition. But I'm telling you, he does not show up until the fourth quarter. Last game, he actually did a pretty decent job. I think he started looking into it and like, I wasn't doing anything. He's not doing anything for the team. Game 1, game 2. He's not. I mean, he's out there. He's walking. He's not stepping up to the plate. And then all of a sudden, fourth quarter comes around and he's like, oh, I need to actually start controlling the ball, controlling the pace of the game. Like, you cannot have that from a superstar like you do Shea. Shea, all 4 quarters, he's out there balling. He gets to his spot. He shoots with accuracy. Like, you can expect that from Shea. And like I said, even before the series, when we had a preview, before they even started playing each other, I said the biggest deciding factor for me is whether Haliburton's going to show up or not. And game 1, game 2, and game 3, it just consistently, I was like, he is not out there doing anything.
Thank you, Jordan. Yeah. I'm so glad you finally shed some light and said it, because the media will have you believe that he is or on the same level as SGA, but he's not. I do think Tyrese Haliburton is a star. but he's not a superstar. He's not a megastar. He's not in that top 10, yes, he's the number one option on his team. He's a star, but no, he does not, he's not aggressive in the first and second quarter. And I know that's pretty much what you said too, Jordan, but it's that big of an issue. You know how many games could be put away, or how many of these games could be not as close if Tyrese Haliburton shot 5 shots a quarter? Right. But his game is just kind of run around, pass it back. Let me get to my spots and try to just Steve Urkel this thing. And it's like, no, you go get to the rim, go get fouled or do something.
Took his first free throw last game in the entire series.
We gotta have the same energy. We gotta have the same energy for Shea that we have for Haliburton. We can't pick and choose. It's a lot of pick and choosing as far as this series that I'm not a fan of, bro.
Yeah,
it was vice versa. Last game.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
Bro.
Yeah,
do you think
it was
it's
vice versa.
You think
though.
it's Rick's system?
Game 4, he was kind of came in hot, and then fourth quarter he wasn't even there. You know, whereas the first 3 games it was the opposite, right? So go ahead, Brendan.
Yeah. Do you think it's Rick's system? Do you think it's his system in the past years? You look at that year when they had they won the finals. The best playoff run in my opinion. Do you think it's that? Do you think it's the system? Because if you're gonna say that, I kind of see Tyrese as a Jason Kidd. If you were gonna say that. Because you compare that a little bit, because Jason Kidd was that point guard with that, and if the Siakam's been running the offense like a Dirk a little bit, you could say it like that. You can look at it like that.
I could see similarities, but no.
Not a lot of that, but with the kind of system he's running with them, more of a transition, if anything. If we're gonna say if Haliburton is just not the best, I agree with you. He's not a superstar yet. He's just a star. He's just in the system, if anything. Do you think if TJ was running the offense,
just in the
system?
I don't know. I don't know. I think, of course, they probably do have a system in place, like you're saying. Really, now that you said that, I do see a lot of similarities to that 2011 Mavericks team. I just think, you the starting point guard, bro. If you want to go shoot 50 shots, you can do that. At the end of the day, it's your team. So that may be something I have to look for in the game tonight. But now that you say that, though, you really own some. They do kind of look like the 2011 Mavericks. A bunch of shooters. And,
Terry off the... You have a point guard off the bench with Jason Terry, with TJ and Terry right there. You have a center with Tyson Chandler, with Miles Turner. I mean, it's a little bit similar. I mean,
I see it.
Just the ball movement and everything. They've gotten they did still have 15 turnovers last game, but when they're on, man, when they start moving the ball and they're able to get downhill and spray it around the perimeter and corner 3 after corner 3 after top of the key 3, Haliburton get to his floater, Siakam getting into his bag in the post. It's man, this team almost looks unstoppable at times, and it's really fun to watch. But then they get really ugly at times too. That fourth quarter last game, man. I was like, what in the hell are they throwing up right now? Haliburton airball to 3, Miles Turner airball to 3, and I was talking to Jordan our last pod. It was I think Oklahoma City did something schematically on the defensive side of the ball where usually they're really protective around the rim, right? They do not let guys get inside the paint.
They were picking up around the arc. Yeah.
They were screw it. We're going to guard everybody from the outside. We're not letting up any more threes. And they just let Tyrese Haliburton just go, right? I think Tyrese Haliburton maybe had 2 or 3 layups in the fourth quarter or whatever it was, right? But I think they dared the Pacers to beat them in the paint because they knew, Oklahoma City saying, we're getting into the paint, you guys are guarding the paint 24/7, and we're still able to get there. Can you guys do the same with us?
Yeah.
Is that how we're going to play it? Then, I think Oklahoma City did something. So I'm going to look for that in Game 5. And speaking of Game 5, what are we looking forward to? What are maybe some key factors or maybe some key takeaways that we're looking forward to seeing from both teams in Game 5? Who's going to come out with save the win for the predictions later, but what are we looking forward to in Game 5?
I'm looking for Lou Dort resurgence tonight. Lou Dort has been doing what he does sneakily on defense, but I think when he's at home and he's in his own environment, you get those 3-pointers that takes this team over the top. I think we see the resurgence of Lou Dort and also Chet Holmgren.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
I'm looking forward to see the Pacers playing away and see the difference between Game 1 and today.
Yeah.
Because what happened in Game 1 was OKC was pretty much wiping the floor with them 20+ all game long. And then they just gave up on the fourth quarter. They just did not close out. They just did not continue playing their type of style. I want to see how Oklahoma City is going to take the first game home like they did in game 1 and see if they will play all 4 quarters. That's what I'm going to be looking forward to.
Yeah.
I agree with you with that. I mean, I think it's going to be a big factor for OKC. I think, going back to Lou Dort, Lou Dort had 15 points in game 1 for them. I would like to see the rotation. Is they're going to start Hartenstein again like how they did in game 4? Or is it just going to go back to Case and Wallace, if anything? Because I think you keep Hartenstein in the rotation. You let Miles Turner pick him up and have Siakam and Chet have that with the whole game pretty much, if you have it with that. I think the big factor for me is bench. Which bench is going to show up? Which team's bench is going to do a little better, because that's been the deciding factor. Each game, whatever team has a 20-point score off the bench, they win the game pretty much. That's what I've realized in both these, and any win for them. So that's my big factor.
You may be on to something now that I think about it.
Also, the Pacers, if the Pacers do not shoot 36% from behind the arc, they lose the game. That has been a stat all throughout the playoffs. Every single game that they have lost, they have shot less than 36% from behind the arc. And then I'll say the same for the Oklahoma City Thunder. If 2 out of the big 3 do not show up, talking about J-Dub and Chet, when those 2 don't show up to the game, they lose. Every single one.
It's a wrap.
Because you're going to get a performance from Shea.
Yeah. Because you know what you're going to get from Shea. Shea,
exactly.
He's had a few games where he's been inconsistent, right? Like we're talking about like the game 3 of the Minnesota series where they just got whooped by 50, right?
Yeah.
But Shea, we kind of know what he's going to bring from night to night, and I don't think there's anybody that's ever going to stop him. Yes, you can try to slow him down as much as you can, but he's going to get to probably his 30, right? 30 plus, hopefully.
Right.
But can J-Dub and Chet show up? So I think that's my key takeaway for the Thunder. I think I know what the Pacers are going to bring from night to night now. Like, they're going to shoot the lights out of the ball. They're going to keep looking for corner threes. Now I'm looking for what I just mentioned earlier. Is Oklahoma City going to come out and still be very protective of the paint, or are they going to be more cautious around the perimeter? Because I feel like they did start closing out a little bit better in that game too and moving forward, but still closing out on this team is just not enough.
Bro, let the Pacers drive the paint.
Yeah,
almost.
That's what I think.
Like 50-50, flip a coin, we're going to... Yeah, 2s over 3s all day long, and it just seems like they just let that perimeter be open. They just let guys sit out there, and they're too worried about them getting momentum in the paint. I understand you want to shut down the paint to win the game, but with how the Pacers play and their consistencies to shoot behind the arc, almost let them, right? And you saw that when Haliburton popped off, 12 or 14 in the fourth quarter or whatever it was. Yeah. They almost let him drive and get to his spots because they're like, okay, you go ahead and shoot the 2. We're going to come right back and we're going to score another 2. We're going to keep the lead. We're going to maintain this lead. And I think that's what they need to do. It's when the Pacers start knocking down all these shots behind the arc, that's when the lead becomes less of a lead. Because OKC is not going to be as consistent behind that 3. And Shea's going to get to his spots and hit a 2. And 3s are more than 2s, but I think you should let the 2 happen a little bit more and stay focused guarding behind the arc.
Except if you're just letting Haliburton get to his floater range, man. I mean, I'd rather him take a layup more than anything. Like, if he gets to his, I don't think he's missed one this series. It feels like he hasn't missed a floater. So I'd rather them, if Oklahoma City's gonna play that style, like, I still want them to be aggressive, man, but it just seems like it's too much of an ask for them to just keep guarding the perimeter and keep allowing corner threes, because that is the most, like, we talk about Oklahoma City's greatness defensively this season, right? Like, all-time great, and especially in my era, in our generation, I feel like this is the best defense I've ever seen in my life. But they do give up a lot of corner threes. I mean, it is the hardest shot in the game, but they are known to make them. The Pacers are. They will knock them down. They shot 30% from behind the arc, but they were still 6 for 11 from the corner in Game 4. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Do we think, guys, that there's going to be another road win for any of these teams?
Yes.
I honestly don't. I don't think so.
Yes. Let's not act like these teams don't match up so perfectly.
They match up well.
I know who I believe and who I want is gonna win, but I'm not shocked if either team wins on the road. Like, these are both 2 teams built on the exact same philosophy. Like, I feel like it'd be kind of wild to say, yeah, they're not winning no more on the road. Indiana's not winning no more on the road. OKC's not winning no more on the road. No.
Well, because they each have an away win. Yeah, so you don't know.
That's right.
But
right? So it's like,
And the thing I realized, both their away wins, they both fell apart. The loser fell apart in the fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter. Yep, exactly, Brendan. Exactly.
They built on the same thing, man. They're really built the same way. And just like we've been saying the whole pod, if Benedict Mathurin has another 27-point night off the bench, Indiana is going to win.
Yeah. But the same thing you can say Alex Caruso drops 20 points. Okay.
And this is why it's such a great series for basketball. Like this is why I love it, bro. Like, yeah, man.
Mathurin took a fat goose egg in the fourth quarter on this last one, fouling as much as he did, just gave him the win, bro. Like, you're not even giving your team a chance, bro. You're holding J-Dub by the wrist, like your body's checking, body slamming. I get playing aggressive, but dude, come on, like let him take the two and trust your offense.
Then like the fans want to chant like refs, you suck, and it's like
you suck.
No,
he's cheating. He's cheating. Like, what am I listening to?
And the fans are crazy.
It doesn't help the fact that he missed half the free throws too, like kind of sold the game for them at the same time. I mean, like
he went 1 for 4, I think, in the last.
In the fourth quarter, it was bad.
That like you can't, bro. You can't make that up. Like you, I swear you're so used to seeing Indiana be the comeback team, and then just to watch them fall apart like that. You know what I mean? As a Thunder fan, I loved it, but man, that's just wild.
It's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of
poetic.
Ironic poetic. Yeah, in a way. You know, just. I don't know. This Pacers team, it's like they have to be 15 points down to be legit. You know? It's like they wait until 15 down, then they're like, okay, we're just gonna start turning it up. Everybody's Steph Curry, everybody's Klay Thompson. All of a sudden, I don't know.
I do want to transition here just a little bit though. Oh, go ahead, Brendan. I don't want to cut you off.
Go ahead. I was just thinking about that meme. You know, like that dad is just controller and all that, and he leans back and he's like, all right, it's time to lock in.
Yeah. That's exactly what
Give dad the stakes. Yeah, you sit up. His old man chair is no longer reclining. Just bouncing back and forth. Yeah, but I do want to transition here, though. What is all this talk about Scott Foster? I haven't been in tune on that, but what is going on? Everyone in the comment section, everyone's talking about Scott Foster is controlling the game. What is this?
Man,
he's always had the hate on him. He has always had the hate on him. He's just doing his job.
No, he's a horrible. No, don't get it wrong. He's a horrible fucking referee. He's a horrible fucking referee. Yeah. But he did not extend. He did not extend this game. Like,
no, he made the right
Indiana
call.
fans are trying to reach for any reason to compensate or to say like this is why we lost. And I'm so glad Rick Carlisle came out and was like, y'all are tripping basically. Yeah. But yeah, none of his calls like it was a few questionable ones, but like in general, no, he refed a solid game.
He did.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't think he did that bad. I am not the biggest fan of Scott Foster at all, but he didn't do a bad job. It is really tough for these refs because both of these defenses play mega aggressive, ultra aggressive. I mean, they are fouling all the time. They're fouling all the time, both of them, and. You know, there was a couple J-Dub drives, man, where he just would absolutely get clotheslined. It was like, like Pacers fans are like, how the hell is that a foul? Like, that is a foul, dog. That is a foul.
I mean, look at Chet. Chet's getting
he's probably iced up from shoulders down, man.
His ankle hit the floor twice, and then he got a knee to the shin. There's not a lot of meat on them bones, bro. Like, you can't. Yeah, that's straight. Bone on bone, man. He popped right back up. I liked seeing that, though, when SGA looked kind of down on him. He was mic'd up, right? So he looked down at him, and he's like, are you good? He's like, yeah, I'm good. He's like, all right, then get your bitch ass up, then. Let's go. Like, we need you out there, you know? I like that leadership from Shea. Yeah. He knew he was mic'd up. I bet he would have said something a little bit more non-conservative.
I wish they would play the actual audio of like what they would say. I want that content, like 18 plus NBA content. You know,
it's probably for the best they don't do that. But I would love to. Man, imagine like Melo mic'd up. He's just going for a rebound. I got it, bitch ass.
Grabbing the rebound. Yeah.
Or get Cat mic'd up. Man. That's a foul.
Zesty. Okay, let's get on to predictions, guys. What do we expect for Game 5?
Anybody want to go first? Y'all know who I got.
All right, you go first.
I got the Oklahoma City Thunder winning big. They lashed it out. They got through it. They got one on the road. That's all you want, like I said in the beginning. So to go back to Paycom, it's going to be rocking. You have to think their fans just watched them come back from a 15-point deficit or down 10. Just watch Shea go off for 15 in the fourth quarter. it's going to be rocking. And I will say this, and I will keep standing on this. I've never stepped my foot in the Pacers arena, but I have been a loud city many times, and it's the loudest arena in the NBA. So with that being said, I got the Thunder winning today.
All right. Brennan?
I'm going with Thunder. I'm going with Thunder too at the same thing. I think Thunder make it a win by a big margin, if anything. They're not going to let it like game one. It's going to be like a game two, if anything, in my opinion. They're not going to have a late resurgence, if anything, in the fourth quarter. They know what they got to do. And I think it's going to come down to the bench, like I've been saying through the whole pod. It's just, that's my big factor. If anything. OKC winning, though.
Or Jordan?
Yeah, I'm going to go OKC by 15 plus. I think they're going to get a huge lead in the beginning. I think they're going to maintain it. They know they got to play through the fourth quarter. I have OKC in this next one.
Because you guys are so confident.
Don't do it to me.
Every single time everybody gets super confident about a team in this series, the opposite of that happens. So I'm going to take the Pacers in this one. They get a road win. Oklahoma City has their backs against the wall going back to Indiana. I say they win in a really, really close one. I'm crossing my fingers and knocking on wood. But
interesting fact, the Pacers have not lost back-to-back games since March.
Yeah. When was the last time the Thunder lost back-to-back too? That was...
Oof. I have no clue. I think that's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while for them too.
Yeah, it's been a while for them too.
That's a wild stat. They do say though, like it's the finals, it's a different atmosphere, but that's something to think about, man. If you're OKC, this is a absolute must win. You don't want to lose one at the crib. Have to go back to Indiana down 3-2, possibly losing your easiest title in this next era of basketball. So
this might be the easiest one for a long time because
it's gonna get wicked, bro. I'm telling you, it's gonna get bad. It's gonna
especially this offseason.
Yeah. The West is gonna get.
Oh my god, it's gonna be tough, man. Yeah, I'm wondering if Oklahoma City this game will change anything offensively. I just. It's been so hard for anybody else besides Shea to get on. I know we talked about J-Dub, but J-Dub still makes everything look so tough. I mean, he's got a couple of those, like he's got that thing in his bag where he, goes up with one hand, right or left at the rim. He makes those look pretty easy. But other than that, man, like you talk about game one where he's bricking every single layup out there, bricking every single shot. And it was like, not even hitting rim. It's just bad. So I'm really wondering if anybody else can get on besides even Alex Caruso, right? Alex Caruso, Shea. Can you get another game, not saying a 20-point game from Aaron Wiggins, but can you get a solid 8 from him? Can you get a solid 6 from Casey Wallace? Can he hit a 3? Can he hit a shot in the series, right? Can he do anything? Can you, I don't know, Isaiah Joe, can he show up for one game in the postseason, please? Yeah. One game. Because it feels like everybody else on the Pacers has had a chance and has had a game. We talk all the way down the lineup, going down to TJ freaking McConnell, and he's having a game, right? Can you expect that from the Oklahoma City Thunder? And I feel like if you get a game just from one of those guys, right, alongside a good J-Dub game, right? Not a great one, not an excellent one, but a good game from J-Dub and a good game from Chet Holmgren, and then you get your regular stuff that you get from Shea, and you get contributions maybe from another Aaron Wiggins game or maybe an Isaiah Joe game, just a couple here and there. I feel like Oklahoma City do pull it out.
If OKC just shoots over 30% behind the three, it's over. Yeah. Like that's what it seems like. It's just like consistently when they're suffering behind the three, it's like a drag, But when they shoot confidently, and that's the biggest thing, shooting with confidence. And so them being at home, I do like that. I do favor that. I think they're going to be a little bit more relaxed, have the crowd on their side. But if we could just get them to shoot more confidently, then they're going to do better. It seems like they're forcing these shots or second-guessing these shots. Lou Dort has been tremendous, right? But we need him to take more than one or two.
Yeah, if he's shooting the ball like this, then I trust it. I'm like, just throw it up. I don't care. Like somebody please just make a shot. Is there any other final comments that you guys want to say, or if anything, just give your social, your TikTok.
Plug everything.
So we are TPC. You can follow us across all platforms at the TPC Pod. Mainly on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So make sure y'all check out and tap in.
Jordan, take us away with ours.
Yeah, so it's going to be Past Our Prime 25 on TikTok and Instagram. You can see all the clips loaded there. We have a podcast out in full unedited versions on YouTube and Spotify. And then go ahead and YouTube Shorts, all that jazz. Just support all the channels. Like, subscribe, show a lot of love. Definitely show a lot of love to TPC Podcast. Go follow them. They post very similar content to ours. They got a lot of stats, a lot of great takes. Definitely go check them out.
Yeah, y'all go follow Past Our Prime podcast everywhere. They the best. They do what we do too. So make sure y'all go support them.
Brendan, Taye, it has been excellent, guys. We'll have to do this again.
Got
for sure,
to.
bro.
We have to do this
Definitely.
again.
It was awesome.
It's
bro.
been a blast.
Yeah. I really appreciate you guys for coming out, man. Game 5 tonight. Who will take it? I would love to know. We'll post this probably on TikTok before the game starts, so hopefully we get some comments and some predictions. But until then, we'll see you guys after Game 5.
Yeah, we appreciate
Be easy.
y'all.
Peace.
Yeah.
Take care.